Nicole O'Neill once said, when you find the courage to use your voice, it has the power to positively inspire and change the lives of others. It is one of the special gifts you have to offer the world. It is something to be cherished and championed, never hidden. And that is why we are here on Your Voice, Your Impact. I am the energetic EJ. I am a life and transformational coach, and I work with women aged 40 and above to turn their abandoned dreams into achievable goals by activating their voice for impact. I'm also a podcaster and an event host. On this show with me is
Great, so amazing. The goal of this show is to help people use their voices to create impact. I am a physicist and a life coach. What I do for my clients is I help them build systems to achieve their goals whilst having fun doing it. On this show, we discuss topical issues that can inspire you to move. Like, subscribe, and share. Welcome aboard.
all right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode on Your Voice, Your Impact. I do hope that you are feeling well. I hope you had a great weekend. So happy November. The last time we spoke on the show, it was still in October. So this is the first show in November. So we want to say welcome, welcome, welcome to the month of November. And we are super excited because this month we're dedicating it to women. That being said, we've had a couple of responses and feedback. I will just briefly touch on it before we dive into the conversation today. So let me bring on Gracie. I will just have like a 2-minute conversation on some of the feedback that we got regarding today's episode. Hello, Gracie. How are you doing today? Your mic is muted. Your mic is muted. Your mic is muted. On mute.
Hello. Welcome to November.
Yes. How are you?
Hi, how are you doing?
Good. How was your weekend?
My weekend was beautiful. Trust me, it was beautiful. Ibukun Awoshika was in town, and I went for a conference, and she said something that I said I was going to talk about today. I think I'll share it later as we we journey along. But most importantly, she said something about, opening something inside of you. And I'm like, yes, it's part of what we're doing. And, she also mentioned that whatever you do, just look for how to impact. Just look for how to impact, which is what she's doing now. She has made so much money and she's moving about, creating impact, using her voice to create impact. So my weekend was beautiful, and on Sunday I rested. I really rested. I After service, the sun in Nigeria now, hey, my sister,
It's
the
Pro
sun
Max.
is saying hello to us just across. So how was your weekend?
Weekend was great. I had such a beautiful Saturday. It was, I'm running a course called Alpha, and so we wear that particular Saturday is dedicated to, it's called the Holy Spirit Weekend, and so it was just a phenomenal experience on Saturday. And on Sunday, yeah, I rested, went to church, basically rested, caught up with friends. And I was actually like intentional. And my friends were like, EJ, please don't turn on that laptop. Don't turn on because once you turn that laptop on, you won't listen to anybody again. I'm like, okay, I'm not turning on this laptop. Let's just catch up. And so we really did catch up, had some fun, had some good conversations. So yeah, it was a great weekend as well.
Great,
Awesome.
great, great.
All right. Okay. So, guys, welcome. I hope you had a great weekend as much as we did. Today, we want to remind you again that we're now officially on a journey or on a project. Would I call it a project? That we're officially on the project to hit 10,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel by the time we clock two. And we're going to clock two in June. Is it June or July? We're going to clock two in July or June. I think June. I'll keep mixing it up. Anyways, next year, but mid next year, we'll be clocking 2 years on your voice, your impact.
July 19th.
July 19th. Thank you very much. And the goal is to hit 10,000 subscribers. So we can't do that alone. So we're putting the words out so that you can support us and help us by sharing the link to any episode that speaks to you. And I can assure you, most of our episodes are fully loaded with insight, nuggets, and life transforming information. So please do share, share, share. And you yourself, if you're yet to subscribe, please click on that subscribe button right now and subscribe. Turn on notifications so every time we go live on Mondays, you're the first to be alerted. All right. And also would love for you to support our work because we'd like to run ads to the episodes so that more eyeballs can see what we're doing here. Because again, we're here to make positive impact and we need you as much as we are putting in the work to do this. So we need your support. So if you want to support us, you want to buy us a cup of coffee, or you want to say, hey, Gracie and EJ, please add this to your budgets for your sponsored ads so that more people can see the amazing work you're doing, then please, you can do that. As we go along on the show, I am going to share the link in the comment section so that you can show us some love and some support. But while you're at that, please, right now, just click that share button. It wouldn't cost you anything to share the button, share it on your WhatsApp status to your friends, to a group you belong to, so that other people can click and join us on this show right now live and be a part of the conversation, especially men. But before we bring on our guest today, Gracie, just as we were, promoting this particular episode and we kept sharing on our statuses, some feedback have been very interesting. I actually got one that says, please, a guy say, please do not talk about us. We don't want. I'm like, okay, calm down, calm. And Gracie also shared in one of our groups, and people were like, excuse me, you say you're celebrating men, but we are seeing women on the poster. What is all this? All right, guys, calm down. The truth with each other, right? And most times, any conversation we want to have, we can have it from the perspective of both sides so that we have a balanced, conversation and, know, okay, what are we seeing as women? What are we perceiving? And then we are inviting you, the men, to come and say, no, what you're perceiving, okay, this aligns or this doesn't. And that's why we are inviting you. Do you see? So don't worry. It's not a women's, we are not planning a coup or anything, right? We just want to have a balanced conversation. Besides, our guest today is fit for this episode and this series that we are on. So I'm just going to hand it over to Gracie to continue the show as we bring on our guest. I hope you can hear me, Grace. Or is it lagging? Can you hear me?
Yeah, so what I'm doing right now is listening to you because it is really, I don't know what the problem is, and I just hope that it would. So I'm listening to you on the live show, right? And then so that I can really hear you because I'm really strange, but I'm sure some technical glitches, but you know how we do it
Yeah.
now. We always improvise and look for how to make this happen. So I'm very excited today. First things first, you know I am very big on mental health, and we have someone that is going to be taking us on this journey. And while you were talking about guys complaining, it was so funny. Somebody on the group I posted said, "Just come and hear now. Just come and hear." So if you have anything, you would share it with them, you know. And that's why we were doing what we're doing, because oftentimes there's this complaint. From January to December, women are always celebrating one thing or the other. Why can't we have? That's what we're doing now. Hey, Sally, darling, that's my friend. Good to have you. All right, wrapping come back. So, without wasting too much time, let me quickly introduce our guest and we will take it from there. So, our guest today is Ethel Changa. She's a dedicated mental health advocate with a professional background as a nurse and a psychotherapist. Driven by a profound passion for mental health, she seeks to make a positive impact on the lives of others. A pivotal moment in her career came in January 2024 when, as a passerby, she successfully talked a man down from jumping off a motorway. Oh my goodness, I am just reading this for the first time. Reinforcing her commitment to suicide prevention. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Please bring her on already so that she can tell us more about this. I am just reading this for the first time and see how wowed I feel right now. Please bring her on. Wow.
All right. Just 1 minute before we bring on our beautiful guest, I am super excited about the conversation. I am just going to reiterate our sponsor for today's show. Our sponsors for today's show again are Coach Olusegun Olaoke, who is a coach that helps with, dealing with um, fear and shame and things that you're trying to deal with, just needing to speak out. If you need somebody to listen, you can always reach out to him via his phone number on WhatsApp, especially. So this means that you can connect with him from any part of the world at +234 812 11 20023. So reach out to him today and just pour it out, and he's going to also guide you as a coach to help you unburden. And also our second sponsor for this episode is Friends to Lean On. And Friends to Lean On is a global foundation that focuses on mental and emotional health, as well as health education generally, so that we can help our humanity some more, which ties into what we're just about to talk today. So without further ado, I am going to bring up on stage is our guest, Ethel Chang. Hello, Ethel.
Hi, how are you?
Very well,
Hi,
thank you. How
ladies.
are you?
I'm doing really good, really good. Thank you very much. Yeah,
You're
doing really good.
shining.
Oh, thank you.
Love
So
it.
are you. So are you, ladies.
Say that again. Your audio now is somehow. Say that again, Gracie. We can't hear you. Yes, and come back. Yes, let's try that. Let's try that. Yeah, I don't know what the technical issue is. So usually I am the one who faces that technicalities where I won't be able to hear. So I need to monitor from YouTube directly so I can hear the conversation. But today, for some
Yeah.
reason, it flipped. It's now on
It's
Gracie.
now you. It's not Gracie here.
Right. So, but
Okay.
anyways, thank you so much for being on the show. I want to
Thank
get your
you for
reaction
inviting
first.
me.
Absolutely. First of all, welcome to everyone who is on YouTube. I'm sure there are a couple of people on LinkedIn as well, even though I can't see any comments from there yet, but I'm sure a couple of people might be watching and a couple of people on Facebook as well. Now, I want to
Yeah.
get your reaction on this because it was so
Mhm.
funny. Myself and Gracie were just laughing when we got
Yeah.
those feedback. And in the course of this month, we're going to be speaking more about it, this men's mental health and everything. We're going to be talking more about it outside of the show itself, just as a brand. We'll be doing a lot of pop-up, Instagram live just to have this conversation.
Yes.
But the reaction was like, you're talking about men. Why are you having a woman speak to topics that concerns men? What would your reaction be to that?
My reaction to whoever asked that question is that the very thing that they might be using, these people or these men or people who are curious might be using to disqualify a woman to talk about men is the very thing that qualifies women to talk about men. So, for example, behind every successful man, look at his life, analyze it, is a powerful woman. So, women, we absolutely have a part to play in supporting the men in our lives, whether it's a partner, husband, brother, uncle, son. We have a part to play. That's why I'm passionate about men's mental health.
Love it. Gracie,
Yeah.
please let me know you're back and you can hear us.
Oh, her mic is off now.
Your mic is off. We can't hear you yet.
No, no, no. Yes, I am back, and just tell me you can hear me.
We can hear you.
So I'm using a different device, and I'm happy that
Better.
we can hear each other better now. So clear.
Yes.
I mean, it's clear that it's the other device. All right. So while I was reading your brief bio, and I got to the part where you mentioned how you were able to talk to someone that was
Mm.
almost committing suicide. I mean, I couldn't hide my shock and excitement because for me, it's almost like saving a life, and that's what we
Yeah.
do. Even what we do here, in one way or the other, we are about using our voices to save lives. So, starting from that point, how did it make you feel? You know, explain it to us how you felt when you had that conversation, and what were the things that you said, because I want this journey to even start from that, because we're entering into that position. I want you to just give us an idea of how you felt that that person was able to listen to you, and what that did to you. I want you to describe it. I just want you to paint us a picture.
Mm. Mm.
Mm.
You're
Mm.
launching her into the deep straight away. You know,
Yes, yes. It's the
Do you
go
want me
for
feeling,
to
it,
the
start from
Ethel.
that
emotion.
part, or do you want me to start from the part I saw the man climbing over the bridge?
Please, from
No,
the
just
part you saw him, the whole
Climbing
experience,
over the bridge.
the story, the
the
story.
The
whole
So
story.
from there we
experience.
can build up
Okay.
from that
All
story.
right. Okay. Let me start. My goodness. You really want, I'll unwrap it very, very succinctly. So,
Yeah.
like you said, Grace and EJ, I'm very, very passionate about men's mental health. I have been for a number of years because I realize that there's an absolute gap in in supporting men. And I know men will say we don't need support, we're okay. But actually, what I've seen in my journey in the two decades that I've been working in mental health, I've seen that not many men actually seek help. And then I see too many of my brothers resorting to ending their lives. So that's why I'm passionate about men's mental health, because in this space is lacking um, that awareness on what mental health is, and also just what help is out there. So fast forward to your question, Grace, which is about what happened on that day when I saw the gentleman on the bridge. Driven by my passion and also the fact that I see every life as being absolutely important, because I believe everyone was born for a reason and a purpose, and everyone has some unique great seed of greatness within them. So that, and a combination of my passion on men's mental health, the combination made me actually stop. So I was driving over a motorway bridge in the United Kingdom, which is where I've been living for the past 30 years before moving to the UAE. And as I was driving, I saw a man one leg over and he was putting the other leg over the motorway bridge. And as you can imagine, the motorway bridge is so high up, and underneath is cars speeding at 70 miles per hour. As soon as I saw him, I looked, and then I looked again, and my heart just sank. And I just thought, oh my goodness, this man has got to the point where he's decided whatever's going on in his life, the way out is suicide. So I slammed my brakes. There was no hesitation. It was within a split second. I slammed the brakes of my car, but I knew that if I'd run to him or if I'd shouted, stop, stop, then he would have jumped. So for me, it was like, I need to get out swiftly, but not to scare him enough to then think someone's coming to stop me, then he would jump. So as I was walking to him swiftly, as I slammed my brake, got out of the car, was walking towards him, I just said, hello, my name is Ethel. And then he turned and I said, please, could you just give me a chance? The first thing that came out of my mouth was, can you please give me a chance? And then so by this time he was standing over the other side of the bridge and he was holding onto the bridge and the cars were zooming past. And honestly, as I got closer to him, I was thinking of the person who'd run him down, the trauma. Because if you imagine if you run someone down and you kill a person accidentally, you'd never, ever, the trauma you would face. But not only that, it's the trauma that would then impact your own family. So you would never be the same again, knowing that, I was on the motorway and I ran down someone. So I knew that this man, if he did jump, he was not only taking himself down, but he was taking 20 other people down. So it would be the person who'd run him down, the people who'd crash into the person who then runs him down, his own family. So to me, it was like, Ethel, you are the lifeline for this man and for the 20 people or more who he's going to take down with him. So as I walked towards him, like I said, the first thing that came out of my mouth was, can you please give me a chance? And so by this time he was on the other side and he just turned and he looked at me. And I said, oh, hi, my name is Ethel. All I want is just 1 minute of your time. Just give me a chance. And he turned and he said to me, you don't understand. You don't. And I said, you know what? I really don't understand. I don't understand at all, but please give me a chance to listen to what got you here. And then the man started crying and sobbing. But remember, he's on the other side of the bridge. All he needed to do was let go. And so by this time, crowd had appeared behind me. People had their phones and some people were, people calling the police. Someone called the police. And so then he said, you don't understand. And then he started crying and he started narrating his story. And I knew at that time, the thing that was going on in my head was, I have to give this man undivided attention. I have to show him that I am here to listen. I'm not here to instruct him to do anything else or to stop or to, I didn't once say don't jump. I just said, I just need a chance to listen. Not for me to tell you what to do, but for you to tell me what got you here. And so he started reciting his story and he was sobbing and he was crying. And as he was telling his story, I knew I had a breakthrough because he could have just said, look, I've got no time, and jumped. And so I got closer to him. And as I got closer to him, I just put my hand, because he was holding the bar of the motorway bridge. So I just put my hand on his hand like that, because I wanted him, I don't know why I did that, but I wanted to make him know that I was present and I was there. And it was just, you know how it is when you're talking to someone and you're feeling distressed and someone just holds your hand and it makes you feel like you know
shared.
Yeah,
she gets me.
It's like she's listening to me kind of thing. And that's all I did. I just put my hand on there. And meanwhile, as he continued to recite his story, and he just carried on telling me the distress he was going through and what led him to that. And all I did was listen. And because he couldn't see me face to face, because remember, he's facing the motorway, I was behind him. It was my hand on his hand that I wanted him to know that I'm there. And so he carried on. And by this time, the police then arrived. And two other people joined me. I wasn't the only one, by the way. Two other people were there as well. And we were just having a conversation with him. And the police then arrived. And it was easier for us to say to him, look, we know thank you very much for sharing what you have been going through. But, the police are here, because what I didn't want him to do was to turn around, see the police, and then jump.
And
so we continued to communicate with him. And the police came, and I just said, look, the police are here. We're going to help you get onto the other side of the bridge. So as soon as the police came, the police were absolutely brilliant. They were so good. I mean, they didn't come marching in, charging in. The police officer who came, there was one police officer, and the others were just on the, they were just on the sides. It was one who approached us. And then we got him onto the other side of the bridge. And yeah, it was just one of those moments of, wow, it happened so quickly. And it was like, wow, what just happened? Yeah. And
my body, I'm cold. I'm having goosebumps just listening to this story being recounted.
Yeah, then they took him away. But I remember saying to the gentleman, which is what I absolutely believe, I remember saying to him, do you know what? There's nothing in this whole wide world, that is worth you taking your life over. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. I mean, life happens, we get to acute distress, but there's always a way out. There's always a way out. And it's about seeking that help. And that bit about there's always a way out is what I want people to understand, that it may seem so bad that you want to end it all and you just think that death is the solution. But I want people to know that, yes, it's bad right now, but it's a season. And with the right help, you can get out onto the other side. That's what I want men to hear from me. And that's why I'm passionate about this. Yeah.
Gracie, you asked, so yeah, unpack it. Maybe you asked.
I mean, how else would we have started this? How
honestly
started this? It was intentional.
Why?
Starting off with a story like this, Carolina Bayer. These are important conversations you're having, ladies. Well done. Thank you, Carolina. Thank you so much. Right. I wanted us to start on a true story, a true life story, something that people can hear and be like, wow. And to also help men. So please, if you're watching this right now, this is where you should quickly run, call all your friends that are guys, men. And like we said earlier, that some people are saying women talking about guys. And, our guest just shared a story, and it's something that split second, that tiny second saved someone's life. And why we're doing this is to help people understand, people that are in that state right now, people that are, in the midst of people that might be in that state. These are the things that we want to learn today so that we'll know what to do to help people.
How exactly?
All right. So I want to just ask a follow-up question so that EJ can take it from there. You talked about the passion, and it was prior that you before you were able to help him. You just run through the things that if there's a story connected, or it's just a career path that you chose, or what got you into this career path that has given you that opportunity to be passionate about the work that you do. Is there like a backstory or something you want to share, before we go ahead?
Yeah, that's a really good question. In fact, a lot of people ask me this question, which is the curiosity of why are you a woman and you're so passionate about men and passionate
Exactly.
about women? Why are you doing it?
Exactly.
But the way my brain works is my brain works in identifying gaps.
Mm.
And where I see a gap, I have to plug it if I can plug it. If I can do something about that gap. So for me, there is no backstory in terms of a personal story, but I can tell you that my backstory is, I can tell you for sure, I've been working in mental health now, so for over almost 30 years, right? And in my career, as a mental health nurse and also as a psychotherapist, I've never actually sat down. I've seen on the wards in the mental health unit, I've absolutely nursed men, Black men, or men from all sorts of backgrounds, diverse backgrounds with mental health problems. But the problem is, by the time I'm seeing them in the inpatient unit, they are so unwell. So unwell, to the point that they're psychotic, they're coming in, they're detained. And in UK, there's a mental health law. So some people come in detained under what we call a section. So a section means that you are formally detained in hospital under section 2 for an assessment or section 3 for treatment. And by the time they're coming in, they're picked up on the streets, really psychotic, or maybe they've done something horrific to somebody else and they're coming in for an assessment. And then I used to question myself, like, how did it get this
How did
bad?
it get there?
Why did it get this bad for this man to then be in hospital? So when I look at the backstory, so I started looking at the backstory. What's the family unit like? What goes on behind? And in question and in speaking to some families, I realized that there's a lot of stigma. That's why my focus is on Black men's mental health. Because when I now go into the family, I see, oh my goodness, yeah, we could see that they were talking to themselves a lot of the times, but we were not really sure. So, and then also it's shameful to say that my child has got mental health problems or there's something wrong with them. In fact, we don't believe in mental illness. We pray and we speak spiritual help. And then the person gets so unwell, they're locking them in one room, and the person deteriorates so much.
So bad.
No choice but to get services in. By the time the services are coming in, the person is so unwell. So I realize there's a gap in education, a gap in identifying what does mental illness look like. How do you know your son, your husband, your uncle, your grandfather has got some form of mental illness? Where, if you are suspecting, where do you go from here? How do we break this stigma? Because there's a big stigma. So that is the backstory to it. And then, so I was seeing an overrepresentation of men on psychiatric wards, mainly my Black brothers. And so then I'm thinking, hang on, brothers, we've got to do something here. But you see, the percentage of men committing suicide, say in the UK, and the prevalence of that has been so high. So for me, it's like some of these men are resorting to then suicide. And for me, it's about, how do I bring in awareness and knowledge so that they know, look, it's not shameful to seek help. It's okay to pray. Absolutely pray. That's important for you to pray. But seek professional help. Let's do it in parallel. Do the praying. Don't stop, but seek professional help. Let's go with this in parallel. So that's the place that I come to. And then also in my years as a therapist, so I was doing both nurse and a therapist. I've never ever had a Black man in therapy coming to see me in therapy. Never.
I know.
And I used to run therapy services for over 10 years, up to 15 years. Never once did I have a Black man walk in to say, look, I'm here for therapy. Never. And then I'm thinking, it can't be right that my brothers are resorting to killing themselves. My Black brothers are resorting to killing themselves. And yet there's therapy services here that can help them. Like, why are they not coming? So I then started my doctorate, which was focusing on just breaking the barriers. And then I did my research and then started interviewing men, then started doing my research on, come on, men, tell me, speak to me.
What exactly? Tell me. What is it?
Tell me. So they told me.
Please, we are curious to know. Please, what did they say?
They told me. So they told me. So I was
What did they
curious. So
say?
you see, so they first of all, my question was, brothers, come on, look at the alarming rate of suicide. Come on, we need to do something about this. We need to do something. Tell me, what are the things that lead you to that point of wanting to kill yourself? Just tell me. Let's do. So I did a piece of research, and then analyzed it. And I can tell you the top. Do you want to hear what the top things are that they told me? Remember,
Please.
this was in UK and some parts of Africa.
Mm.
Southern Africa. The first thing I wrote it in on here. I just wrote it down on here because I love to talk about this because they told me it's not something like men who are listening. I did not cook this up.
Did not cook it
It's
up.
what
This is
you
research
told
based.
me. You told me this. So, and I believe that this is kind of maybe a lot of men will resonate with what I found out. So I found out that the key things that are driving men, I tell you, the key things that are driving men to then wanting to end their lives or maybe cause that acute mental stress and distress. Hey, marriage breakdowns and relationship breakdowns. Remember, I said my research was mainly in UK. And in UK, men are traveling from Africa, so like I'm from Africa, right? Say I travel to UK for people are traveling to UK for over better life, jobs, whatever. And then it's the wife is the breadwinner, the man is the one looking after the kid. Role reversal. Then the clashes that come with that, with now the respect, the disrespect, like, okay, the wife is busy, she's spending long hours in work, she comes home, the husband has been looking after the kids, and but he still wants her to come and cook, but she's been at home. These kind of clashes, which are all down to lack of communication. Because if you're a partnership and you're in a marriage, then there's just that communication and that mutual respect that always needs to be the foundation. So when the wife comes from work, the husband still wants to feel he's the man of the house. And then you're here coming from work, you're tired, you're expecting that he's cooked, and he's like, cook what? Cook who? Who? Get in the kitchen and, who to cook? Get in the kitchen and do your wife duties and cook. So this is where now the clash is coming. So the wife is like, hang on, but I've been on a long 12-hour shift. This is just one example, hey? This is just one example. This is just an example. So marriage, so then there becomes a breakdown, communication breakdown. But I can tell you the sad thing that I realized is in these homes where the father has a mental breakdown, it affects the girl child and affects the girl child more. And also the male children. The children are affected. So in the homes where the father is well, automatically you find that there's harmony and wellness among those children.
In the house.
So that's the other passion and reason why I want to get our men okay. So that was the first one, relationship breakdown, marriage breakdown. The other one was childhood trauma. And when I went a little bit deeper into childhood trauma, it was mainly around things that were done to them as a child or said to them. A lot of them emotional abuse, physical abuse too, and some sexual abuse. So, a lot of neglect, all these kind of things. So there was childhood trauma that they cited. The other one was finances, just lack of money, just, and I remember some of them had said, there is this thing, I suppose maybe it's in the African culture. If you're the man of the house, you're the one who's providing, you're the one who has to do the holidays, the one who has to do A, B, C, D. And some men were afraid to tell their wives that, look, the money's not adding up. We need to forego the holiday. We need to forego all these outings you want to do, or whatever fashion the wife likes. So some men, and I remember one man was genuinely afraid of having that communication with the wife, just to say, look, we can no longer keep up with the lifestyle we've had because money had now become a stretch, and he was at the verge of suicide. And so with these kind of things, so can you see that the thread in all this is really communication is a big one. And then the last one was really around raising children. Believe it or not, but in the day and age we live, some men, and it depends also on the system. Remember, I said this research was in UK. In UK, there's a system, social services, that really protects children, rightfully so.
And children, okay.
Our children are encouraged to be autonomous. Children are encouraged to seek help, contact social services if they were being physically beaten by their parents. Now, you, an African parent who grew up being beaten by your own parents, you are now using the same in a Western world
method.
Before you know it, social services is on your door. Your child came to school with a bruise. What's going on here? So some of these men are stuck, as in like, I can't father my own child anymore. Do you know what I mean? Because the children are taught, stand up for yourself. And you've grown up in Africa. I don't know about you, but certainly when I grew up, I never spoke back to my parents. I never spoke back to any elderly person. It was like you just comply, So now imagine you're trying to raise your kids who are telling you, I don't want this, I want that. Because this is how they are taught, the children of today. Be confident, be autonomous, be self-governing. And then as a parent, you're saying, no, but I want you to go this direction. And the child is saying, lay your hand on me and you'll see social service will be on the door. So it's led some men and some families deep into distress. So these are some of the things that came out from that research. And then the next bit was really about, okay, guys, now I know we've shared with me the issues. Why do you not seek help? Why do you not go to counseling, go to therapy? Why are you not accessing this? And I came to realize that, one, they don't know what it entails. They don't know what it entails. And also there's a fear of, if I sit with a therapist who does not understand my background, if I start to tell them about maybe financial issues, that I'm sending money to my family back home, they will see it as financial exploitation rather than, this is the norm for us. We go to the diaspora to work, to look after our family. Do you see what I mean? So some of them, it's the fear of the person will not get my issue because they don't
fear
get
of judgment.
Yeah. So then it's about ethnic matching. So how do we then have therapists who are culturally aware of the men as they come to therapy? That is now where I started to put the recommendations. We need a cultural awareness. The therapists need to be culturally aware to know, okay, it's normal in the African culture to send money to look after your siblings. That's a norm. It's not a safeguarding financial exploitation. It's normal. That's just one example. And then also the other thing was, so there was that cultural awareness in the therapist, but the other thing was, there's still the stigma attached to mental illness, because if you start talking about depression and anxiety, men are thinking, men, they say to each other, you need to man up, you need to be macho, men don't cry, all these kind of things, which is wrong. Because men, they're human beings as well.
They're humans, exactly.
And there's also something about us African men. I remember someone said to me, Ethel, if I ever said to my wife that I'm feeling tearful or feeling depressed, she would tie her wrap, I don't know what you call, straight to my family in the village.
Hey, God.
You see what I mean?
No. We need to change
say,
that.
guys, what has happened? Something has happened. Our village people have done something to my husband. He's talking about crying. Why will a grown man cry? So women, we have a part to play.
Oh, Lord.
Just as much as men need to be aware, women, we also have to provide a home environment that is non-judgmental, a safe space. That's right. Where somebody's telling you this thing of listening. Remember I said on the man on the bridge, it was mainly about, I didn't instruct him. I didn't say don't jump. It was like, please, can I listen? And if women, we just took that stance of listen to our sons. Listen to what they're saying. Don't listen to respond. Listen to understand.
Listen to understand.
Sit and listen to understand, not to respond, to say do 1, 2, 3, 4. No, listen to understand. And also to our husbands, all the men who connected to us, we need to provide that safe space for them to be able to hear and to express their emotions. So women have a part to play, and also men, it's more palatable for them to receive support and help in the places where they hang out. So it's more outreach. We need to go to where they are.
Where they
So I said,
are.
so men, where are you? They're in the pitch, they're in the football pitch, they're in the barber shop. How do we now do an
Get there
outreach, mental health service, to go to them where they hang out
to
is
them.
where the help comes to. So this is the model that actually, so now I'm just downloading all the research and all the stuff that I did. Anyone who's listening, if you're able to take this on board, I mean, I certainly want to take this on board and will do, is just let's provide that help. Let's reach out to the men. But I think the golden thread in all this is listen. Let's listen.
And
Women,
patience as well. Yeah.
listen. And also, there's the foundation to everything in this life is respect and humility. Even as a wife, if you're the one earning more, just respect your husband and be humble. You are a partnership. It's not about I earn more, so now you should be taking my shoes off. You should be the one serving me. No, it's still about how do you communicate and meet halfway and communicate and be more joined up. So there's something for us to learn, women. So the men who are saying, why are women talking about men? It's because we want to help you, and because we want to listen to you, and because we want to be there for you. Okay. Okay, men don't
Here's
feel
a
listened.
response.
Yeah. Men have tried to talk and have been called weak. Okay, so this is why now I'm saying even more pivotal now, women, please, let's be non-judgmental. Let's just listen. Even if we don't understand what he's saying, what our son is saying, what our uncle is saying, what the grandfather is saying, what our husbands are saying, what dad is saying, just stop, give undivided attention to that man. Just sit down, put your phone. A lot of the times we're holding onto our phone. Put the phone down, turn off the TV, sit next to the person, look at them and just say, I'm here. Just tell me. Don't be quick to give a solution. Listen, because people need to be listened to. And I think my testimonial is based on the man on the bridge, that it was me being there and offering to listen that helped him engage with me. So that's the key message that I want to give to women is, please, let's listen to the men who are in our lives and listen to understand. That's very key. And communication as well. Yeah.
Oh, this is so good. So much to unpack. And just like Shagun says, that I hope is beyond talk. And, when I was getting the feedback, about why are you women talking about us? If we're dedicating the month to us, why are you women talking about us? And, some of these things you mentioned actually popped up in that conversation. And the thing is, each time, I got that feedback of, we don't feel listened to. It's a norm, especially in our climate. Men don't cry, men don't show weakness. Like if you even want to say, I am, like if you, one of the feedback was, if I say I'm vulnerable, even with my woman, for example, women cannot handle vulnerable men because then they see them as sissy. Like, oh, you're a man. Why are you being like a woman? Like, do you see? So that already shuts them off.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So again, really, but each time those punchy lines, and we're going to explore those punchy lines throughout this month in pop-up session and all of that. But for me, for some reason, I would not say I am an advocate for men's mental health until this program, when I just started to think about it. And I think it was until I met you, really, Ethel, 2 or 3 months thereabouts, when when you shared the story and I saw your passion, and I'm like, whoa, this is strong. It made a strong impression on me. And I came to tell Grace immediately, like, you see, November, we started planning for this November since like August, like I dedicated it to men, right? But just getting, even for me, this is huge awareness, right? Because each point that you've raised around the men, the stigma and everything, it's just punching my heart. And I'm here questioning myself, like, no, is this me being passionate about men, or is this just me being human, you see? So, and there's something a friend of mine said that said, at the end of the day, because I was really concerned, like, okay, what can we do? And I'm grateful that when that question came, I didn't also attack like, what's wrong with them? I'm like, okay, I want to listen. I want to hear you. Please don't stop sharing. Can you please tell me more? And so this person kept sharing. And it was very enlightening for me. And I'm like, but honestly, there is something we should be able to do. And he was like, maybe, but the truth is it would keep shifting, because even if the men become aware, tomorrow it might shift to the women folk. Like, okay, the women folk need to do this and do this. And so his standpoint was, let's just learn to be humans.
Of course,
Let's,
absolutely.
tap into our humanity. But for me, the question that I raised, and I'll ask you that, Ethel, as we start to round this off, is how then, I understand the concept of humanity, but how then do we rightly or effectively or efficiently step into our roles? Because as much as we are humans, we still have our roles for
In
the
the household.
genders.
Yes, yes,
For the
yes, yes.
genders generally,
Yes,
the
yes,
way
yes.
men are wired is different from the way women are wired. So how do we kind of balance or find a harmony in maintaining our humanity, but also flourishing in our roles as based on our gender?
Yes, yes, that's a really good question. And I think it goes down to something very simple that I've learned to just that I've discovered along this pathway is first of all, the times are changing. The times are changing. If I look at maybe when I grew up, my mom was a housewife, my dad is the one who worked. And that was the norm. That was how life was. But I'm talking about almost 50 years ago. And but now you're finding that we've got women, more women working, women in leadership positions, and times are changing. As times are changing, it has become more pivotal than ever before for communication, for two people to
True.
be able to communicate. Once you're in harmony and you understand each other and you communicate, I tell you for sure, this role thing will not be an issue in your marriage or in your relationship. Because one, the foundation will become respect. Respect goes a long way, not just respect, but humility, civility. I always say, I mean, in some of my posts, I say civility saves lives, just being respectful. How do I respect my husband? How do I respect my wife? How do I walk in humility as a human being? And how does he walk in humility? And then the two, you are more in harmony, because the more you can click and understand and open up and be non-judgmental to each other, even to our children. Like I'm saying, times are changing now, even with our male children, just as long as we're able to have that honest, open, respectful communication, then things become easier
Communication.
and better. And it's easier as times change. Because as you know, there's like so many women CEOs now. And you are a CEO at
Right.
work and you come home and you want to be the CEO at home, it ain't gonna cut it, love. You know?
Mm.
So you need to come home and you take off your CEO hat and you are a wife
Hat.
and you are you how you're running your home is in partnership with the people who live in your home.
Mm.
And how do you have that strong partnership? Communication, foundation of respect, foundation of self-awareness, and respect for yourself, respect for others, and integrity. What you say, you mean it, and you do it. So those are the key things. So it's about coming back to the household. For me, it's about back to the household. This is where it all starts. What you do outside of work in your CEO hat is there. When you come home, how do we do things in this house? In this house, respect is our foundation. Humility is our foundation. Non-judgmental behavior is our. If someone is feeling down, we stop. We support that person. We listen. We support that person. We don't say, "Oh my goodness, why are you crying? Just man up." That doesn't cut it. We can't. It's like, no, let's sit down. Let's have a conversation. So it's simple for me, very simple. And then once that foundation is there, all this role business and, I'm the wife, I'm the husband, it will not come in. It will
True.
not come in because already you've agreed on your foundation. That's it.
Wow,
Alrighty.
so good.
Thank you so much. I think it will be very, very important for us to quickly, before we wrap up, I would love for you to help people understand, because apart from the stigma that people face, it is very important for people to understand what mental health is and what mental
Yes.
illness is. So we
Mm.
want you to help people even understand how important it is to prioritize mental health, so that people would even know what one's mental health is and mental illness. Help people understand what they mean individually and why
Yes.
it is very critical and very important.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Grace. That's a very important question. And I want to just say in answering it that, every single thing, let's start from here. Every single thing we do in our lives, everything, when I say everything, everything starts in here. We think it, then we do it. It doesn't start from the behavior, it starts from the mind. So everything, you have an idea, you execute it. You have something, it's a thought, then the feeling comes in. It's never the feeling, then the thought. We think it, then we feel it, then we behave it. Those three are the connections. So every time someone is feeling down, my question is, what I want to find out, what is the thought behind that feeling? It's not the feeling, it's the thought first. If we do not look after our mental health, it's almost like we always have a dark lens in front of us. When I say a lens, the same way you have a lens. So everything you'll see will be through a negative lens. Someone doesn't say good morning to you. Oh my God, they don't like me. I better resign and I better go. Can you see? It's just like that, exactly like that. So, someone didn't invite you to a party. Oh my goodness, it's because they don't like my hair. They don't like my face. They don't like me. It's because I'm black. It's because all sorts of things. It's flawed. Your perception becomes really flawed. But when you stay in that flawed way of thinking, it can intensify and intensify and intensify to the point that it becomes paralyzing, to the point that it can lead to psychosis. Psychosis is when you are hearing things and seeing things and feeling things that nobody else can hear, see, or feel. Then you start imagining things. Then you're starting to see things fly around. Then you're starting to hear voices telling you things, because you've got yourself to a place where your mind has been acutely stressed, distressed, and constantly in this negative place. So it's important for us to recognize when we're having that perception, that negative perception. And it's also important for the people around us to challenge us. If someone is saying, oh, they didn't call me for 1 week, maybe they don't want to be my friend, or maybe I've done something wrong, for the friend to challenge and say, hang on, maybe they're busy with their own lives, or maybe they've gone on holiday, or maybe, they started a new job. So it's in our place to challenge our friends and the people around us when they listen, but also give them another alternative. Could it be? So you're not dismissing what they're saying, but you're saying, you know what? Could it be that maybe they've gone on holiday because it's summer and they're busy, or I know they started a new job. Could it be? So you're giving a person another alternative. So it's really important for us to then look after our mental well-being because of the reasons I've just given. The analogy I often use to describe mental health and wellness is if you look at a rose, I wish I had one. So if you look at a rose, the flower, the rose with the beautiful red petals and the stem, which has the thorns, the rose stem has thorns, hasn't it? I always often lift it up and I say to people, what do you see? What do you see here? And some people say to me, oh my goodness, Ethel, those thorns, they're awful. And some will say, my goodness, look at those beautiful red velvety petals. They're so beautiful. I want to smell them. They must smell so divine. Can you see that we're looking at the same thing, but we're seeing two different things? Someone is seeing the thorns and someone is looking at the petals. So I say to them, this is life. Life has both. No one is stuck in a rosy life and no one is stuck in a thorny life. There's a bit of both. It's how you maneuver the both. You have to see both. You see the thorns, but you have to ask yourself, where are the petals in my life? Every time you're feeling down, this is the way to get out of mental, when you're feeling stuck and feeling like, you're feeling down. Okay, I'm feeling down right now, but these are the thorns in my life. But let me proactively seek what are the petals in my life right now? What are the beautiful things? Because once you start to see those two, you're in a more balanced state of mind. You're not saying life is all rosy. You're not saying life is altogether bad, because it isn't.
Being realistic.
You're kind of balancing the two. So what I want to say to end this, because I know our time is gone, is please know that help is out there.
Yeah.
The life we live is not a dress rehearsal. This is it. And every single person has got something to give, and your family needs you, your children need you, your loved ones need you. So please look after your mental well-being, because it all starts in here. Even the way we then communicate to our children or our co-workers, it's because of our state of mind. So because you've got so much, you who's listening, you've got so much to give to this world. You don't want it to be taken away because of mental illness. So there is help out there. Seek mental health support. If you're in the UAE, I work for Maudsley Health. So Maudsley Health would be more than happy to kind of offer you mental health assessments and a service if you need that. Wherever you are in your home country or around the world, please you can even just find where's your local mental health service or clinic. Just book a consultation if you feel that you need that, or a family member needs it. But the key thing is, do not suffer in silence. And it doesn't matter what anybody thinks, because the life is yours, and what anybody else thinks is their perception. You need to run with your life and look after your mental wellness and well-being. That's what I want to leave everybody with. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
There's a question that's just come up on there. Do you want me to answer it or not?
Yes, please go for it. Answer the question.
So the question is, can I be vulnerable without the fear of being labeled as black men?
As a weak black man.
As a weak black man, yes. So, this thing called vulnerability is, I would say, a starting point is you need to it's okay to be vulnerable with someone that you trust. Because I'm not saying here, go and just stand on the street and just tell everybody your life problems. You need to be able to be in a place where you are talking to someone that you trust, and someone and you trust. That's why I'm saying, if it's a professional counselor or a therapist, then you can be vulnerable, because they're trained to kind of help people in vulnerable situations. So seek professional help, even if it's for 1 or 2 or 3 sessions, but at least you've made the steps to helping you. And then in the family unit, if you create a culture in your home of a non-judgmental place and a safe place for people to be vulnerable, then of course you can be vulnerable, whether it's with your wife in your house or another family member, because you've created the culture of being non-judgmental. So it's not about don't talk to anybody and everybody, but it needs to be someone that you trust or a professional person.
So good, so good. Ethel, you are amazing. Honestly, like I have had so much fun on this, like so many light bulb moments. And as you speak, I see pictures, I see scenarios, I see situations, where I could have acted differently, or where I'm like, okay, I'm right on point there. I did the right thing, right? But this just buttresses the importance of having such conversation. And I know the I don't want to call it deception, but I know the thoughts that we can easily fall into, like, oh, it's just all talk. But let me say something, that with every movement, it might seem like it's more talk than action, but the talk often always leads to the action. And this is why we will not be silent. This is why this whole month of November, you better watch out, because we are going to say it, whether you want to listen or not. Not because we want to lord it over you, but because we want to saturate the atmosphere, at least with this platform that we have, which is in alignment with our vision as a brand. Our vision is to amplify your voice of impact. And we know exactly how powerful the mental health is, and especially how impactful our society can begin to see when the men are fully whole, and not afraid to, like, where there is not this thought, like this thought shouldn't even be existing, you see. Like, why would we call you weak because you're vulnerable, right? So it's just learning, unlearning, and relearning to live together and to create, like you said, nurture a culture of safe space, of
Yeah.
vulnerability, where we can be trusted with each other's worries and troubles, and so on and so forth. But honestly, Ethel, you are passionate about this. There is no doubt. All eyes can see. Anybody listening can hear. And we're glad that we started this whole conversation with you. You've laid a solid foundation for us to build upon in the coming weeks. And we just want to celebrate you. If people wanted to connect with you to say, I love this woman, I love the work she's doing, I want to see more of her work, how can they do that?
I think the best place will be via LinkedIn. So LinkedIn would be a good place to reach out to me. And yeah, and any questions, or if people want direction on, where can I go, what service, then, I don't know where people are watching from, but certainly there will be mental health support around, or I can signpost to where people can get some support, or even in the organization that I work in as well. So the key thing is just seek help. Please don't suffer in silence. Seek help. And I'm very happy to signpost people. So LinkedIn will be the best place. Yeah. I think she's frozen.
Yeah, I think she's frozen, and I think it's we have really done. You have done so well that I'm like, we can do this for another 1 hour. We, EJ, we cannot hear you. If you can hear us, we cannot hear you. I'm sure she'll find her way back here while we wrap up the show. All right. I've just been very calm and quiet because this is an area that I'm very, very passionate, about as well. So just listening to you talk, I already know that I'm going to share and reshare this video so that many people can learn. They can watch this and learn from the conversation so far. Okay. All right. So yeah, we'll just wait for you. Yeah, good. She's back. All right. So if you're watching this, please remember to subscribe. Please remember to share. This is another way to create impact. Share, subscribe, and let people know about your voice, your impact. Our goal is simple. We want to amplify your voice and help people know certain things that they should know from here, just like we have done with this mental health conversation. And believe you me, what we have lined up for you next Monday, just go and put your calendar next Monday. So if this was good, if this was beautiful, just stick around and understand that we will definitely give you more beautiful. And I'm sure let me beg you ahead of time. Please, when we call you again, would you come? This is me begging you ahead. When we call you again, would you come?
You're asking me?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm asking
Yeah,
you.
yeah, of course. I love to talk. I love this topic of mental health and mental. I love this topic. Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Ethel. You've been gracious. Thank you, Gracie. Thank you, everyone that has joined. You have all made the conversation today richer, and this is all we ask of you. Like, this is how we want you to support the ministry, okay? This is how we want you to support your voice, your impact. Come be a part of the conversation. Share your thoughts, share a question, make the conversation richer, because this is not a one-way conversation. It's meant to be a dialogue. All right. So as we converse with our guests, we also want you to hear your thoughts on what we're talking about. So I really do hope that you found enough value in this session. There is a lot of value, and I hope that you're going to share with your friends and loved ones, share to your WhatsApp status. Let people still watch the replay. All right. If they're unable to catch us live. Okay. Remember, we are on a journey to hit 10,000 subscribers by July 19th, 2025. So we have a couple of months to go, and we need your support on that. I mentioned on that we're going to share the links to support us if you want to sponsor an episode, or just kind of give us some sort of donation so that we can run ads to the show. But I forgot to share the link. I am going to leave it in the comment section of the replays so that you can still support us if you wanted to. But yes, this is where we draw the curtain today, and I'm going to hand it over to Grace to close out this session. Thank you, Ethel. It's been a pleasure being on this show today.
Thank you for inviting me.
All right, what more can I add? Remember, your voice is definitely important, and you should use it for impact. So we'll just close it up and see you next week. Bye.
Nicole O'Neill once said, when you find the courage to use your voice, it has the power to positively inspire and change the lives of others. It is one of the special gifts you have to offer the world. It is something to be cherished and championed, never hidden. And that is why we are here on Your Voice, Your Impact. I am the energetic EJ. I am a life and transformational coach, and I work with women aged 40 and above to turn their abandoned dreams into achievable goals by activating their voice for impact. I'm also a podcaster and an event host. On this show with me is
Great, so amazing. The goal of this show is to help people use their voices to create impact. I am a physicist and a life coach. What I do for my clients is I help them build systems to achieve their goals whilst having fun doing it. On this show, we discuss topical issues that can inspire you to move. Like, subscribe, and share. Welcome aboard.